Plants actually are very vulnerable. They're very much like people in the winter. They need that extra protection to keep them healthy. And then we also want to think about our irrigation system and be sure that we cover the irrigation system and keep that healthy in the winter too, so that we protect it from freezing.
Master gardener Denise McConnell has a knack for caring for desert plants. Her green thumb experience and tips can help your plants survive the extremes of the desert, from sweltering triple digits in the summer to the occasional freezes in winter. Like people, plants prefer layers to keep warm in the wintertime, so add more mulch to the plants in your landscape. Mulch is a top dressing that covers the soil and protects plant roots from freezing. It also helps to conserve moisture so you don't have to water as often.
For those cold-sensitive plants, you're going to want to add a layer of mulch as an extra protection. You're going to want to put about 6 inches of mulch around the base of the plant, especially important on plants like this bougainvillea that's a subtropical plant. And I've had this one here about 6 years and it's still going strong.
Potted plants appreciate warmth too. Move your most cold-sensitive plants to a side of the house that gets more afternoon sun, but beware they could still freeze. A better option, if you have it, is to move your potted plants to a covered patio where they will be better protected. Cover plants in the ground with frost blankets or burlap.
Some plants are hardier than others and can take the cold. What should we know about plants' tolerance in changing desert conditions?
Their hardiness depends upon where they actually come from. So the desert-adapted plants will be the ones that will be hardy to this area. Other ones, subtropicals like bougainvillea, would have to take more protection. But the other ones can take it until it gets down into the low 30s, and then you may want to cover them. And you can use materials like burlap or a sheet and just cover them for the night and then take it off the next morning.
If you noticed frost or a freeze has damaged a plant, leave it alone until warmer weather arrives. New growth may still appear. Pruning or transplanting a damaged plant during winter months can hurt or even kill it.
Now that you've prepared your plants to go a few rounds with Old Man Winter, you'll want to protect your irrigation system, the lifeline of your landscape.
So we want to protect all of our irrigation lines and be sure that we don't have those above the ground. We want to protect our hose bibs and the hoses themselves to keep them from breaking, and as well the backflow preventer. That's a quite expensive repair if you have to repair it if it should freeze. So we want to give that the adequate protection that it needs.
Walk through your landscape and inspect your irrigation lines. Bury any exposed drip lines or cover them with a few inches of mulch. This will help to insulate them against water that could freeze inside and burst the lines. Disconnect and drain garden hoses you don't regularly use in winter. Further protect the faucet with a cover or wrap it with an old cloth and duct tape. Next, cover your backflow prevention device.
Denise, why is wrapping or protecting the backflow so important?
So the backflow preventer actually can freeze. And if that freezes and breaks, it's a very expensive repair. And this backflow preventer is what keeps the irrigation water from going back into the water supply. So it's very important to give it that winter protection. And there's a number of ways that we can protect it. Probably one of the easiest is to just purchase this sleeve that goes right over the top of it. There's also like a synthetic rock that you put over the top of this. That's a good protection. And then the other thing is that you can use this foam tubing. And this one here is especially made for this. It has tape on the inside here so that when you put it around there, you pull the tape off and it can close. And this is a great insulator. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually wrap it. So I like to cut a little piece off first, just for this little area here where they come together, just to hold them together when I'm working with it. And then you just start wrapping this tape around it. And this holds that foam in place and just makes it a little more firm. And it goes pretty quickly once you get the hang of it. I'm only going to wrap right up to these valves here. And you can see these valves here. These need to be kept out of the wrapping, because if you have to turn the water off to the irrigation, this is where you would do it. There's also a bleed valve here on the bottom, and you don't want that wrapped either. So you don't put the foam wrapping over it, and you don't put the tape over it. But here I have the foam wrapping that goes right up to the big bell part here, and it's important that that is wrapped with the foam all the way up to the big bell. And that's all there is to it.
Finally, locate your water shutoff valve and learn to turn off water at the source. Doing this will save you from major damage caused by leaks or burst lines. For more winter protection tips, visit us at snwa.com.